All right, Coach. Obviously, tough day Saturday falling to the bus. The hike from Thursday, beating Lubbock Christian. What's a few positive things that you can take out of that weekend?
I think mainly it's just a learning experience. It's a hard turnaround to come from that win on Thursday and then go play another huge game. It's by far one of the hardest road trips that we're going to face. But, I do think that we came out and we did some good things. We tried to come back against WT late in the game, and they just knocked down key shots and made really good plays, and it put us down. But, it was nice to beat LCU. We have a ton of respect for both programs, and just to be able to compete and beat LCU meant a lot to us.
Do you think that, you mentioned how it was really rough road trip. Do you think the first half of this past Saturday's game is kind of a little bit of a showing of that?
Right, we came out flat. I was afraid of that. I think a coach is always afraid of coming off of a big win, going into that next game, no matter who it is, especially if it's WT. And I do think that there was a lot of emotions flowing. Our kids were a little bit nervous going into that, and felt like, off the tip, we were okay. Felt like we were doing okay. And then that one timeout, we just could never recover from it. And so we went out of character, I think, a little bit. I don't know if it was because we were tired from the game before, but we just weren't rebounding and playing defense like we usually do. And they played an amazing game. I'm not going to downplay what WT did. They came out and they played strong. They were hitting shots. They were knocking down a lot of good shots, and it was just hard to play against. At our best, it would have been a tough game for us.
And specifically on Madeline Stevens earning her 6th double-double of the year, how has she grown so far this season?
We were down going into that fourth quarter, and she was the one that said, hey, we still have 10 minutes. We still have 10 minutes to come back. And I think what were we down? Well, I think we were down by 16 or something like that. And a lot of players wouldn't say that. And so that shows a lot about what she's about. And she came out and had a huge fourth quarter. She was, and not that our others didn't believe, but she was that kind of leader in that kind of situation. And I love hearing that, and it makes me rely on her in the future, and it makes me know where her heart is in situations like that. And so that's very special. The kid's quiet. She's a quiet player. When she could come out with 25 points and nobody knows where it came from at the end of the game, but it's because she rebounds well. She makes the effort to go get rebounds. Very coachable. She does everything she can to do what we say, whether it's there physically or not. She makes an effort to do it, but she's just an all-around great kid.
Obviously a new slate, first Cameron, you guys lost them back in January. What's the message to your team to kind of bounce back now in a new week?
Keep the ball out of the middle of the floor. Like, we cannot let them drive middle and score. They're deadly on the inside. What makes them tough is they're just as deadly from the three-point line. So they like to drive and kick for three-point shots. If we don't stop the drive, they're going to hit a layup. If we do stop the drive and not cover out, if we don't rotate right, they're going to hit the three. And so that's what makes them a tough team. We have to learn how to force baseline and keep them out of the middle of the paint in order to win this game.
Do you think scoring 45 points in the second half is something you can build on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, that's the part that we've been working on lately. We start our season out defensively, going over all those details, and now we're trying to fine-tune our offensive end and get up as many shots as we can and try to get our shooting percentage up there where we can compete against anybody in the nation. But I do think that our kids were knocking down some shots and maybe getting the ugliness out going into this weekend and getting that confidence back, and that's what we've already started this morning doing. And they're in good spirits. They're ready to go get Cameron.
Yeah, so basketball one for me, because I heard you mention about making sure they don't go to the middle of the floor. I know the Spurs, they like to funnel middle because they have the aqua hurdle there as a protector. For you, does that give you like a kind of a coaching challenge, knowing that a lot of teams do like to drive middle, but since you don't want that to happen, is that kind of a new
I think what our defense is based on, the percentage of us driving baseline or making them go baseline is greater than going middle. I think when it goes middle, it breaks down a lot of defenses. We don't rotate well out of that, and we want to force them into our help on the baseline. And so it's just a coaching perspective, and what you prefer. But for me, since I was 5, we've always forced baseline. That's all I know. I grew up in West Texas, and so that's what we're going to believe in, and that's what we're going to do. And it's worked for us up until now. WT, we didn't do it, and against Cameron, if we don't do it, it will not work. But they are very good in the paint. I think if you can keep teams out of the paint, those shots become low percentage shots. And that's what we're going to try to force them to do. We do not have 6'11" in the paint to swat everything, and so that's probably not going to work for us. We're trying with Naya. We're trying to figure some stuff out with her, but we're not there yet.
Perfect.
Yeah.